Welcome to CFC Fan TV. I'm delighted to tell you that we have joined the wonderful Ball Street Network. I'm over the moon with that. I cannot believe that it's happened. It's something I've fancied for a long time, so it's great news. Here to preview our huge clash against Tottenham Hotspur is none other than Flav, who I'm sure you know from Ball Street already, but also from the Fighting Cock excellent podcast.
Cheers.
You bet you're feeling very confident, aren't you?
Nah, I mean,
he's playing, I'm sure.
No, I'm not. I promise you. We've got to play at Wembley. The last time we met, you beat us 4-2. Although I thought we played all right in that game. But it's it's difficult. I am confident. I've got to be honest. I am confident, but it comes with it an element of kind of realism and trepidation that ultimately Chelsea are an excellent football club with an excellent manager, despite the kind of you've had one bad result. And you lost your captain against. It
feels like a bad summer though, Flav.
Really?
Does, yeah, it really does. I mean, I don't think that you can quite tell. You know when you're part of a club and you're kind of existing in the DNA of it, you get it a lot more. And I think from the outside, people would be looking at the summer that Chelsea have had and go, well, you broke your transfer record, you bought a brilliant forward, you've signed Bakayoko, one of the most exciting midfielders in the world, but it's papering over the cracks. It really doesn't feel good.
You've just won the league.
Yes. We haven't. It's lovely to hear you say that as a Tottenham fan, but it just doesn't. It doesn't feel good, and it actually echoes massively with what happened this time 2 years ago,
really?
Summer of 2015.
Is that bad? Is it?
It does. It doesn't feel good. I think that we've managed to plateau. I think we're as good this year as we were last year.
Yeah.
But we have a lot more at stake this year. We're going to play seven more games this season. Well, 7 more games before Christmas. And we just don't have the squad for it. We don't have a midfield, Going into the game against you, we don't have a midfield.
Yeah, you got Kante though. He's like 2 birds, isn't he?
Yeah, agreed.
All right, Gavin, hear you say that. That kind of makes me feel a bit better. I think look, Spurs, we haven't changed at all. It's our same team pretty much that started ended the season, starting in this one. There's a lot of consistency in that Spurs team. They play well together. That first game against Newcastle last week, it felt like we was watching the team that ended the season. There's a chemistry and an understanding in that team that it's a shame we didn't buy players, but we have benefited certainly in the early part of the season from not changing at all because they're used to playing with each other.
Well, keeping that team together is an achievement in itself, isn't it?
Yeah, we lost Walker, and Walker for me is the best right back in the world. In the league, but he wasn't playing towards the end of last season. Pochettino and him had either had a falling out of some degree or Poch didn't trust him to do what it needed to be done. I don't know. But, apart from that, they're all there still. Yeah. So there's something in that. We have got a problem with the amount of wages we pay because, based on what Danny Rose says, it's no way that isn't an issue at Spurs. It is. There is going to be a ceiling to what we can pay currently. We've got a stadium to build. We've got previously we were in a small stadium, 36,000. We're now at Wembley and we're paying to be there, so we're not getting much money from match day revenue. It's a difficult period in that respect to keep everyone happy, but we managed to do it for another year. Going into the new stadium, I think we'll be able to attract some new players in that way, and hopefully our biggest players will stay with us. But it will come to a point where Harry Kane's going to want 250 grand a year, Dele Alli's going to want 250 grand a year, and you either pay or they go.
Yeah, a week even.
A week.
Yeah.
Sorry, I'm thinking in my own world.
Yeah.
I don't know.
Yeah, no, I know exactly what you mean. Obviously, we've had some classic encounters over the years. Like there have been some huge ones, and I think as a Chelsea fan of my generation, we would, regardless of how bad we were in every other fixture in a season, we would always go into Tottenham away from home hugely confidently because, like Chelsea fans, slightly older than me would regularly refer to White Hart Lane as 3-point lane. Yeah. It was something that existed. We still always sing about scoring 6.
Yeah.
My personal favourite is when we beat you 4-0 twice in 3 days.
Brilliant.
Obviously going to do this because you're here. I'm going to just talk about a few others. But does that confidence has actually evaporated from us?
Yeah.
We now go into it. Like there's a 4-4 draw that's really prominent in my mind. There's a Luka Modric 1-0 winner that's very prominent in my mind. Yeah. Last year, the 5-3 game. There's so many where it seems to have spun.
Well, just lost at Dele Alli,
yeah, exactly,
2-0.
yeah, exactly.
That one, Pavlyuchenko and Bale scored.
Yes.
2-1. I mean, I can't remember the last time we've been beaten at White Hart Lane. I remember,
Aaron Lennon cut in and Ashley Cole. Beat Ashley Cole and scored. Yeah, it's been a while. In fact, you know what it was? I think it was a 4-2 game. Gary Cahill scored a volley. But that's ages ago.
Oh, was that game?
2012.
Yeah, Mata scored 2 as well.
That's right. Mata had a brilliant game.
Yeah, look, Spurs at home now are not. Tottenham Hotspur Football Club are not what the club I grew up knowing and loving the frailty, but in a way that because the highs when they came were so amazing. You know, the first time we beat Chelsea was one of the greatest moments being at White Hart Lane because we hadn't beaten you in 26 games or whatever, something crazy. And although it's great to be good, and I've had the last 2 years of Tottenham being consistently good, it's there's something I miss a little bit. And I'm not harking back to days when we were mediocre, but there's something I miss about getting an unexpected result. Because I saw it the last 4 games of last season. We had Arsenal, Man United at home, right? Beat Arsenal, brush Arsenal aside. Yeah. Like that's nothing. And it was great. It was great rubbing it in their faces and really giving it to them and standing up on our chairs and looking across at them scumbags and them just being silent and not looking at you. And they think, years and years I've had stick from you. Now you're going to get it. Anyway, and then we beat Man United in the last game of the season. It was just never in doubt. Last 2 away games, we smashed Leicester and Hull 6-1 and 7-1.
Is that still the mood though? Has that move translated into this season?
For me, it has. Absolutely.
So going for the league.
Oh, yeah. Well, yeah. You just don't know what factor that Wembley is going to play on our season. If it isn't a factor, then 100% we're going for the league. We finished 2nd and 3rd, respectively. Third the season for, 2nd year. We gave you. I think we were the best team last year, but you were the most. You found a way of winning, and you were just completely ruthless. I would say we played better football and more entertaining to watch, but Chelsea were just a machine. And that's a beat that. Just a machine, right? And you can imagine my frustration a bit because no matter how good we were, Chelsea were just that little bit better. But we've been like that for 2 years now.
And knocking on the door, this could be
knocking on the door, and look, we've got to buy. We have to buy. We've got to spend. You know, if all the transfers that we've been linked to, and they seem plausible as opposed to the kind of nefarious ones that we got linked with in the beginning of the year. If all of those come in, Sanchez, Urrea, butchered that I think, on the right, on the right, and maybe Ross Barkley and this Diop kid. That's depth in our squad that we don't have currently. Who knows? We can go for the league.
Yeah. I think that you're perfectly entitled as a Tottenham fan to think that you're pressing for the league. I think it will be a bit beyond you, particularly because of the Wembley thing, but it's certainly challenging, and I'm really nervous going into this game. Our midfield is depleted. I'm not quite sure who's going to play there. I think David Luiz will probably push into that position, which could weaken our back line. Before we wrap this up, it's probably. I imagine that Alvaro Morata will start.
Really?
Yes, I think he'll have to. Well, he came on the weekend, changed the game actually. It still worked. He didn't change the scoreline, but he certainly changed the way that the game's going. Worried about him? Is he somebody that feels?
I can't say I know enough about him really. I know that he played for Juve. I know he played for Real Madrid. And now he's playing for Chelsea, for 3 of the biggest clubs in their respective leagues. So he's got to be all right, hasn't he? I mean, he's paid 70 million for him. Yeah. You know, he has to be good. There's no other.
Yeah. I think we're heavily reliant on him this weekend just because.
What's wrong with Batshuayi? I think he's quality. I think he's a good striker.
He didn't look good. He didn't look good the other day. He was really. He seemed out of his depth.
Oh, really?
Yeah. I think he needs someone alongside him. I don't think he's a man to lead the line. You know, certain players play very well as a second striker.
Yeah.
Playing with your back to goal and doing the Diego Costa role, the Didier Drogba role, is such a hard job. And I just don't think Batshuayi is a man for that. But there's no doubt that he can come on and do a job. So fingers crossed he does it on Sunday even. Flav, thank you so much for coming onto this channel. I know that it's a huge favour and very brave of you to come onto the Chelsea channel, so thank you.
I've got nothing to fear from Chelsea.
I'll see you Monday. Cheers for watching. Comment below, let us know what you think of this video. And great news about Wall Street, eh?